G'day and welcome. So I'd like to show you how to salt a deer hide. This one has the fat and the flesh taken off. So what we'll do is, because I've got all mine fleshed, this one here, what you do if the flesh and everything is on it is you put it out, make sure it's damp, not wet, but not dry. It's slightly damp. You get your salt. This is a 5 litre bucket. What you do is you spread your salt on. When you spread it on, make sure you get right to the ends. Right to the edges. Also, don't use iodized salt. You do not use that. The sea salt. This is pooled salt, the saltwater pools. What I do, push it all to the corners, okay, and then hold it slightly because my table isn't big enough, and you go right the way through. Put it on thick enough, don't be stingy with it. Put it right onto the edges. Okay, this one's already been done. Once you've got it to the edges and everything, you take one end, fold it over to the other end. Okay, then roll it up. Okay. When you have it rolled up, put it on a board on a slope like that. Don't leave it sitting flat, because what will happen is the salt that you've got in there will pull the moisture out, but it won't pull the moisture out from right in the skin. Okay, and what it'll do, it'll bring the moisture up and it'll sit and pull. And what happens is when it pulls in the skin, you'll come along and you'll just pull the hair out. You'll get a rot spot. Okay, so if you roll it up like that, make sure it's at an angle. Leave that for 2 or 3 days. Then come back, open it up, and do the process all over again. Make sure you get right to the edges. Usually I do this on the ground, so you can have it flat completely on. Make sure you get it right to the edges. After 2 or 3 days, once again, turn it over, roll it up, and then sit it in a bucket, just a 20 litre bucket, and put a lid on it. Come back next day, just check and make sure there's no water pooling inside. If there is, you've got to tip it out. The other thing you can do is what we do with these ones. This one here, it's salted, but it's been folded. Okay. Same thing though. When you fold them, bring it over. Okay, belly to belly, and then just fold it and fold it. There's your line there. Okay. There's this part. What you do when you do that with the brand new skin, especially if it's still got the fat and the meat on it, you set it up that way. Okay, there's the back. There's the back crease. That way everything inside there runs out. That's what you want. Okay, you want everything to run out. All the fluid in here you want to run out. And then what you can do, depending on where you live, if you live in a place like this where it's very, very hot, very dry, what you can do, instead of putting it into a bucket, is you just put it into a frame. Okay. What I like to do with mine as well is make sure you've got salt. I crush this up, I put it in the blender, and I crush it up really, really fine, and then I put it over the fur as well. Because the bugs may not come in and destroy this, but they will still come in and eat your fur. and you'll come out and you'll find as though someone's come along with a pair of scissors and just gone snip, 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 and it's all evenly cut. That's bugs, that's insects getting in. So what I usually do is I'll grind, because this is fairly thick as you can see, you know, it's like little rocks. What I do is I grind it up, and then the fine salt I make sure I put over all the fur, all the hair, and that keeps the bugs out. And then I put it up in like that and have it all drain out. Now just keep an eye on it every day, a couple times a day, just check it to make sure it is drying out and make sure that everything is folding out. This one here still has meat on it, still has fat on it. So you can do it, you can take it straight off the deer or straight off the animal, let it cool down, let it dry a wee bit, and then do this. Okay? The other thing you can do is, as I said, this one here has already been done. Okay, it's already been fleshed. So there's several things I can do with this one now to stop the bugs from coming in and destroying this hide if I haven't got time to do it. I can do what I've just done. I can salt it. Okay. Hold it. Wrap it up. Put it somewhere to drain out. Or, instead of putting salt on it, what I can do is just fold it up, put it into a plastic bag and put it in my freezer. That'll sit in your freezer for 20 years. But make sure that you do put it into a plastic bag, because if you don't, you will get freezer burn on it. And you can get freezer burn out, but it's just more work, so it's better off if you don't do that. The other thing you can do, I have heard of, if you get like this, and you've got the time, and this is if you've got the time, you don't want to salt it, you don't want to put salt everywhere. So put it together and smoke it. Even though it hasn't been tanned, just smoke it. Because the bugs don't like the smoke smell. Okay? Usually what I do is I take the flesh off, I'll fold it, and I'll put it in my freezer. And I'll just stack them up in my freezer. You know, on my plastic bag I'll write the date that I put it in, so I know which is the oldest, which is the youngest. So I hope that's helped you. That's salting. Okay, you can see I've still got salt. I'm very happy to have salt all over both sides. Okay, and when it's a little bit wet, as you can see this is wet. Okay, when it's wet like this, it's alright, because what happens is your salt starts to melt, come to a liquid form, and actually go into it, actually go into your skin, go into your fur, keep the bugs away. We have a little black bugger here that when he gets in, oh mate, he just causes so much damage. Most times you just throw the hide away. So make sure that every bit of your fur, every bit of your hide is done. Okay, and the most important thing, as you can see, I usually fold them. The most important thing is have it sitting up so fluid can run out. That's what you've got. You need. You know, I'm holding that up, but like if I was going to put on this, I would have it at about that angle, and that way I know that anything up here is going to come down through gravity. Okay, I hope that helped you. Any other queries, you know where I am. So next time, stay safe, and we'll see you somewhere in the outdoors.